Hello and welcome to the Freedym Show. This is the daily show featuring 10-minute practical, usable advice from amazing heart-centered lifestyle entrepreneurs. It is not just about the money, it's about the freedom. I am Ryan Lee, your host, your teacher, your coach, the mentor and founder of Freedym.com, the leading online education platform for freedom-minded people just like you. And if you want to get your free special gift, I got something for you. Just text the word freedom, that's F-R-E-E-D-Y-M, to 33444. Again, F-R-E-E-D-Y-M. Just text it over to 33444 for your special gift. Now, today, on the hot seat, my man David Schloss. David is a social ads expert. In other words, if you want to start buying ads in Facebook and YouTube, David is your guy. If you want to learn more about David and his agency, check it out at rampify.com, rampify.com. And today, we are talking social ads. David, 10 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Oh, baby. Come on. We're going to bring that energy up. David, we're talking social ads. I know you do a lot with Facebook and YouTube. Let's start with Facebook. Give me the number one thing we have to know about doing ads on Facebook.
Well, I'll give you two things really quick.
Oh, I love it.
First thing, you need to be 100% compliant with Facebook in order to run highly profitable but also long-term ads. A lot of people make the mistake of running lead capture pages or video sales page offers on Facebook without abiding by the compliance of Facebook. And you could simply just look up the ad guidelines on Facebook prior to running any sort of offers. You don't want to make the mistake of getting your account shut down all because you forgot to add some disclaimers or you forgot to turn off your exit pops, which, by the way, without turning off exit pops or adding disclaimers, your account will get shut down. And another thing that you need to be aware of when running Facebook ads, always split test different ad images and ad copy. At least 3 different images first, and then once you found the image that works for you, test your ad copy. A lot of people don't do that, and what happens is they end up spending way more money than they should, and they're also not getting the best cost per click or cost per conversion. And you really do need to focus on those 2 elements.
Okay, just in terms of tactically, so just to make sure we're on the same page, what you recommend they do, if they have an ad, they could run the same ad, but just test 3 different images. You find out which image works the best, then you take that new image, and then you test the different copy for the ads.
Absolutely, and you could do it vice versa. If you want to test the copy first with the same image, you can, but I typically start with testing the images first because that's what draws everyone's attention, then focus on the ad copy after.
What's the best practices in terms of, I guess, just bidding, right? No one knows. Do you go with what Facebook recommends? Do you go above it? Do you go below it? Do you go cost per click, CPM? Give us your thoughts about actually the right way to bid.
Right. So my methodology for bidding is this. When you are looking to obtain a conversion, whether it's a lead or you're looking to obtain some sort of checkout or registration for a webinar, I typically will start with Facebook optimizing my ads for me. And the reason for that is because most people don't have enough data in the beginning to essentially create their own bids. Everyone is starting from zero. So what I do is I typically allow my campaigns to run for either a certain amount of clicks, let's just say 500 to 1,000 clicks, or I allow Facebook to get me a minimum of 300 to 500 conversions before I start manually testing the bids. And for that, the reason is because I want Facebook to give me enough data for me to make up an educated guess as to how much I can afford paying per conversion versus how much I can afford paying per click.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Now, in terms of the ads that you're seeing working, are there certain types of ads, certain types of promotions you see working better? Now, I know it's a trick question in a way because, it depends on what you're sending to, but in general, if you had your own money on the line here, David, are you going to send them to landing pages? You're going to send them to webinars? You're going to send them to low ticket? You're going to send them to free stuff? Like, what's the trend you see happening now?
The trend that I see happening and what I see working really, really well right now is sending your traffic to a sort of a blog post, but a really, really detailed and basically case study oriented page that leads them into a free download. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about retargeting nowadays, and they're talking about why you shouldn't be sending your ads to offers, but I look at it as this. I want them to know who I am before I get them to give me something. So I want to send them to the best piece of content I got so that they're like, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. And then by offering them something for free, basically to get their email, they're more susceptible to giving me their email because I didn't try to get them to, basically do something with me on the first date. It's like, hey, here's something cool about me. Now I'm going to show you what I'm all about, and by sending them to a blog post and you're giving them the best information you got, it sort of puts their guard down. And once you've done that, they're more likely to click through, leave their email, and now you have them on your email list. And like I mentioned before, if you have retargeting set up or a custom audience pixel, you can always remarket to them later in case they decide at that time they don't want to put their email into your lead capture page. And that just works incredibly well right now. If you put those two costs together, sometimes I'm seeing a lower cost per conversion with that two-step process versus just sending them directly to a lead capture page.
That's interesting. Now, yeah, and it's kind of the new way, the whole trend, and we talk about this a lot at Freedym, is the getting away from this hardcore, old-school, aggressive, direct response type marketing and getting more into conversational, relationship building, authentic, and this seems to fit right into that trend.
Absolutely. You're just getting them to trust you first before you start giving them stuff.
Right, absolutely. Now, in terms of, so we're covering a lot in less than 10 minutes. I like some of the big stuff. So in terms of, so we've got ads, we're talking the different pricing. Now in terms of Facebook traffic, Facebook marketing, what are the minimum things you need in terms of tools? Do you use just Facebook's internal tools?
Yeah, if you're not spending a lot of money, and I'm talking tens of $1,000s a month, you can just use Facebook's Power Editor, and you can create as many campaigns as possible in a very short amount of time. You don't need any tools such as like Quaya or Adspresso or anything like that for enterprise, because unless you're spending, let's just say at minimum $10,000 a month on ad campaigns, and specifically if you're managing multiple accounts, then you would need those tools. But most likely you only just need the Power Editor, and you can manage everything from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you don't need, and that's, I think a lot of people, David, put artificial barriers in front of them, and they start looking at all these advanced tools, and they say, well, I can't spend $1,000s a month, so they do nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So give us your final thoughts in terms of Facebook advertising. What's, you run this agency called Rampify. What's the secret sauce? Like, what's the big thing? Because everyone's trying to do Facebook ads, but you guys are doing it really, really well.
Yeah, we're sort of implying that you need to provide multiple pieces of content to your audience before you start sending them offers. So we have this process to where the audience we plan to target for either a lead capture or a webinar registration or something like that in order for the audience to then buy later, what we'll do is this. We'll test a blog post versus a lead capture, right? And I just mentioned how you want to have a lead capture on your blog post in order to get that lead anyway. But we're testing whether or not someone is more susceptible to give us their email right off the bat versus getting to know us first. And a lot of people just choose one or the other and just go from there. I mean, we test everything. So the secret sauce for us is basically sending people to a piece of content to get them to know us. At the same time, while they're reading that, also sending them to a lead capture and just gathering as much information as possible. Because you're going to get the leads. You're going to spend a very low amount of money during this test because they're seeing both sides from you and they're getting to know you a little more. And, well, because of that, your open rates in your emails are going to be better because they know who you are. They're more than likely going to show up for your webinar. It's just sort of, you're playing around with the audience, getting them to know who you are, but you're not selling so quickly. And the problem that most people make with their ads is they're trying to get the sale too fast.
Right.
And we don't make that mistake. We're willing to spend a little bit more to get a conversion because that person is more likely to buy. I have no problem spending $10 a conversion versus $3 if the $10 conversion is someone who's going to stay with me for a year versus the person who's only going to cost me $3 and they leave after a month.
Yeah,
I'm just nurturing my audience a lot more.
Right, and you're just, the key is having patience.
Yeah. Building your audience, getting them to know you.
Yeah, and that, to me, that's what I've done for 15 years, and I think that's my secret sauce to creating wealth, is just building that relationship and taking your time. David, this was awesome. I know the time flies. It flies when you're having fun, my man. Let me mention your site one more time. If you're interested in hiring David's agency or learning more about what they do, check them out at rampify.com. And this is Ryan. We are going to be signing off. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe at iTunes. Ratings, reviews are always appreciated. But have no fear, because tomorrow we are back. We never go more than 24 hours without a new episode being aired here on The Freedym Show. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found a lot of value and got some good strategies here from my man David Schloss. This is Ryan signing off. Have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.